You're listening to Talk Amongst Yourself, the solo space where we pause, reflect, and get radically honest. I'm Kaylene, and I've taken about a 2-week hiatus, and that's because I am currently going through layoffs where I work. So that will segue us into the topic we're going to go over right now. This week, we're talking about the kind of work stress that doesn't just exhaust you, it destabilizes you. Layoffs, uncertainty, and the emotional whiplash of being disposable. If your job is costing you sleep, sanity, and self-worth, is the price tag too high? Maybe. It might be. But I just wanted to talk about this today. I'm going to start with the fact that I have been laid off in the past one other time. I worked for a really, really large electronics company. And every so often, they would do like a mass layoff. It was like every 4 years or something like that. And I was there for about 4 or 5 years. And I had switched jobs within the company and I was doing something different. I didn't really like it. I didn't enjoy it. And one day I came in and I was called into the office, into my supervisor's office. And lo and behold, I was handed a paper that said I was getting laid off that day. During that cycle, though, it caused me, you know, to be emotional. During those times of layoffs, there is going to be an impact, right? There's going to be an emotional impact of the layoff. Not only is it going to be financial that affects you, but it is also the emotional side of it that affects you. You know, from the feelings of being shocked, and yeah, I'm going to say it, the shame, because you feel like you did something wrong when actually you probably didn't, but I don't know. There's really no way to prove that, right? Like it could have been because somebody didn't like you, right? It could be completely and totally subjective, but you're never going to know. And you're ashamed, you're in silence because you just don't even know what to say. And there's really not much you can say at that point. You know, you feel discarded after the years of loyalty that you have put into your job and the hard work you have done there. And I mean, I feel like I was okay when I got laid off that very first time. I mean, emotionally, I kind of wasn't okay emotionally, but I mean, when I say okay with it, um, it was a shock to my system, but it came swiftly. It wasn't like I had time to think about it. I had a couple of months to sit there and wonder if I was going to be laid off. Nothing like that occurred. It was just swift, fast, out the door. Okay, what's next? And actually, it lit a fire under my butt to go back to school and finish my degree. So everything happens for a reason. And I think that that happened because that's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to go finish my degree. I was in a job that I was unhappy in anyway, but you still have those feelings of being discarded. You're still in shock. You know, you still feel shame, even though you shouldn't feel shame. But that is definitely how I felt. And I'm sure that is how a lot of people feel when it comes to layoffs. And, I'm going to talk about what's happening currently. Currently, where I'm working, there is going to be a mass layoff. We've all known about this mass layoff for like, I don't even know, a few months, a couple of months. I have lost track of time. It seems like 1 month has been like the whole entire year. I mean, we're already in August and I just can't even believe it. It feels like it was just January. So where I work, they've let us all know that we are about to be impacted by said layoffs because we have a budget windfall and it's huge. It's not just, it's over 200 million. It's over 200 million. So we have a huge monster budget windfall. And of course, the first thing they're going to do is cut positions, cut people, things like that. That always happens. And uh, I have never been through anything like this in my life, ever. The fact that you know that layoffs are coming And the fact that they put you on an emotional roller coaster, because that's what it's been since we've all heard about it. And it's been really, really complicated and hard to deal with, especially being in management. I'm in like lower management. I mean, I supervise supervisors, but I'm still in lower management where with my title. Anyway, that's here nor there. That's another story. However, we're all sitting there and all of us, I guarantee you it's all of us. We're all just trying to move on with our invisible labor, right? Like everybody's trying to hide in a corner. Oh my God, well, maybe if they don't see me, I won't lose my job kind of thing. And it's just been emotionally taxing when day in and day out, you have people coming to you, asking you what you know about it, and you actually don't know a damn thing. I don't know a damn thing, and I have employees. I have supervisors under me. I have a team of people under me, and it has been nerve-wracking to say the least. Like, I mean, it's it's affecting me emotionally, it's affecting me physically. Um, Last week I felt like I was at my rope's end. I just felt like I was about to explode. And so that's part of the reason why I didn't do the show because I just couldn't. I wasn't in a place or a frame of mind where anything even sounded remotely like me. And so I decided to wait. And I'm actually now at the tail end of this. Tomorrow, which is Monday, starts the first layoffs from 3 to 6 p.m. And who knows? I don't know if I'm going. I don't know if my people are going. I don't know if my friends are going. I haven't the slightest idea. And we're all feeling raw. We're just feeling raw. We're feeling upset. One minute you feel like you're safe and you think, okay, I got this. I'm going to be okay because, I'm in a position where I'm needed and I feel good. And then the next minute somebody says something and you're just off the bandwagon again and you're just like, "Well, no, God, maybe I'm not safe. Oh my God." And so it's just this back and forth type of thing where you're trying to remain positive. I mean, I'm kind of to the point where I swear to God, if I even have to tell somebody one more time, well, you can only worry about the here and now instead of worrying about next week, I swear I'm going to jump off a bridge. I don't know how many times I've said that. And I think I truly believed that for a while. And then it was just like, oh my God, like what I was feeling inside. I've been like, um, you know, hiding my emotions, you know, trying to be the reliable one while silently unraveling, right? I mean, inside, oh my God, inside, I have been a bundle of nerves just dying, just as much as the person who's asking me if it's them, just as much as the person who's walking around looking like a zombie, walking around in fear because we all know that they're coming. And I have never, ever been at a company where we know that layoffs are coming. I I think that this is I don't even know what to say. It's almost like cruel punishment. It's like they know. So why don't you just tell us so that we could prepare and be prepared? We could have prepared and started getting our resumes out there, things like that. But then at the same time, right? You have to look at safety concerns. Seriously, in this day and age, you have to worry about somebody going postal. So, I mean, it's a catch 22. What do? You can't tell the supervisors, right? Because you know what's going to happen there. Somebody is going to open up their big mouth. And believe me, there's a lot of big mouths, right? Everywhere. There's always one in a group. So you know that there's no way they could have told anybody, but I really wish that this would have been handled in a completely different way. I mean, I feel like everybody is just in a place of where they can't say no, where they can't call in, or they're afraid to call in. I mean, some people don't care, but they're afraid to call in, so they go to work sick, feeling emotional. Um, s- you know, Here's us staying late, saying yes, swallowing stress. That's exactly what I've been feeling this entire time. And now this week, there's going to be people that are going to be watching other people get laid off and wondering if they're next. That's going to be me. Am I next? And, I just realized that I have been trading my nervous system for a paycheck, you know? And we all are that are in this boat right now, but some of us need that paycheck. So you kind of have no choice in this matter. And it's a dog eat dog world right now out there. With all those federal layoffs causing chaos, the job market is flooded. Currently, the job market is flooded, and that is facts. Go ahead, go on LinkedIn, pick any job, look at how many applications are in. It'll tell you how many people have applied for that job. And I am not lying to you. I don't know what job I was looking at. It was just random. It was just on my screen. And it had opened up, and I am not lying, like 12 hours before. It already had 700 and something resumes sent in. One job. We're talking about one job. And I know so many people who are talking about how they can't even find a job. This is so ridiculous. I mean, it is so ridiculous what is happening right now. And I just feel like I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be okay. I don't know, for anybody else either. If this would be even the right time to even think about doing your own thing, running your own business, whatever. How? I mean, seriously, look at the economy. People aren't spending like they were spending, and people aren't finding jobs. And it's so funny because I don't know what I can't remember what I was reading the other day. It might have been like an alumni email or something, but people were talking about how like they can't find jobs within their field of study. And that's nothing new. That has been going on forever, 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 forever. I have a BA in psychology. I've never found a job in my field of work, especially not with a BA. If you have a BA in psychology, you have to have a higher education before you could even counsel people, unless you want to make dirt dog $10 an hour, doing alcohol rehab. Seriously. Like they pay those people so low, just kind of like an EMT and a paramedic. They pay them so low, it's ridiculous. Uh anyway, it's been very difficult. I have been going through the most difficult time I've ever had at a job, ever in my life. And, we do have a manager that's pretty unemotional, you know, and he can hold a secret. He can take a secret to his grave, I'm pretty sure, and never say a goddamn word. It's kind of like losing the family recipes. Like he would be that. He's that type of person. Like I don't know that I've ever met anybody like that that can just hold on to something so tightly, And I mean, this guy doesn't tell anybody anything, and it's not his fault what's happening right now. And, as far as secrets, I mean, I'm sure he's been sworn to secrecy and he's trying to keep his job and trying to move up in his job as well. So it's just pretty crazy. There's just been no transparency. People are paranoid. People are freaking out. Um, it's just it's just hard. And in something like this, right? You cannot have any professional boundaries kind of set in place for fear that that's going to push you closer to being the one that's laid off, because we don't know what's in the background of this. And they changed a lot of rules prior to this layoff on purpose. And the scary thing about that is a lot of these layoffs that are coming are subjective. I mean, I'm sorry, but they really are subjective. I think you could possibly get away with, laying people off just because you don't like them, and they're never going to be able to prove that. I mean, I live in an at-will state, and it, I just think that this is going to be interesting. I think that next week is going to be interesting, and if I make it through Tuesday night, I'll be able to breathe. But am I going to be able to breathe easier even if I do get to keep my job? How am I going to feel about the people that I know that didn't get to keep their jobs? I mean, I think within this, we're going to lose a lot of good people. And, hopefully we don't. Hopefully we lose the people that, do half-assed jobs or don't even want to be there, because there's plenty. There's plenty. You know that. At any job you work, there's a dime a dozen. There are people that will work the system all day long, just to get away with shit, just to not have to do their jobs. I mean, if you don't like the job, go find something that you like. That's truly how I feel about it. And I love my job. And I think that's why I'm so like emotional. I'm emotionally distraught. I really am. That is like the only word I can use. Like right now, I'm together. Right now, I'm together. And I don't know if it's because I'm doing this show or what, but, at this point, like I said, you literally cannot have any professional boundaries, you're probably acting like I'm not difficult, I don't want to be difficult. You don't want to say no. Um, you want to do all the things that you can that are right, and you want to make sure that people are paying attention. And woo, it's it's so difficult right now, and it has been difficult for me. So that is why I didn't do this show, because I just was not in an emotional state to be able to do that. I mean, we are losing sleep. We are just losing time out of our days because we're staying so much longer. We want to, and at the same time, I'm sure there's people that feel completely and totally opposite than what I do. You know what I mean? I'm sure that there's people that are like, eh, it's just a job and I'll be gone. But I love my job, and I think that's the difference. Like, I think the previous job, if there would have been, if I had been in love with that job, it would have been completely different. I mean, I wouldn't have been over in a couple days, thinking about what I was going to do. But this, if I'm laid off, I don't think I'm going to be like okay in a couple days. I think I'm going to be really highly upset and emotional, and I am not an emotional being by nature. I don't like to share my emotions, but I'm learning. I'm working on it. Yes, but I just don't like to share that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you what, I am emotional as hell right now. I'm more together today than I've been. And you know what's funny is that's going to shift in the next hour. It's going to shift in the next 2 hours. I'm going to be at work tomorrow morning, probably sitting there paranoid in my chair, waiting for 3 o'clock, chewing my nails, whatever. And actually, yeah, my nails look worse than they've ever looked in my life, because and I'm not a nail biter, but this is me lately. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one, because I've stayed afterwards, after some of our meetings with some of, with the employees, and we've all talked, we've talked about it. And we're all feeling some kind of way. I don't think I've ever heard my office so quiet as I did last week. And it was just a week. And I don't know, it was Monday and everybody was like, oh my God, how are we going to get through this week? Well, we made it through the week. And now we got to get through this week. And it's going to be a scary week. And where I work is actually, it's driven. We are actually, I can't even think of the word right now because my head is just, it's everywhere. My mind is all over the place. I'm thinking about 5 different things at the same time. We are revenue generating in my section is what I'm trying to get out of my mouth. We're revenue generating. So, and we're already extremely short staffed where I work. So in my section. So I'm hoping that my section for the most part is safe. Who knows? Maybe there could be a couple of people. I don't know. I just don't know. And I could be on that chopping block. I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's hard because I just love this job, and it's just crazy. It is just crazy. We've all been pretending, for our staff members that we are okay, and I can tell you, we're not okay. I know my office. I know my people. And for it to be that quiet when our big boss is away, whew, I'm telling you, there is definitely I don't even know what word to use. There's definitely in the culture in there's a shift. There's just a silence that you cannot. There's a silence and a tension, if that even makes sense. There's tension in the office. People have been fighting over dumb stuff in the office. Even I have. It's crazy. I mean, things as small as a freaking chair, for God's sake, have been happening. And it's like several people just doing things that are out of their character or just doing stupid things. And it's just been one thing after another. And I truly am exhausted. Exhausted. I don't even have a vacation until September, unless I have a longer vacation. But my plan is hopefully I'm still there and I can still, nurture my career and keep it on track. But who knows? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that, we've all been swallowing our stress. I know that I have, and it got to a boiling point this last couple weeks, and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to getting, to watching others get laid off. I mean, there might be a couple people, and I'm not even going to lie. that that I'd probably be okay with. I'd probably be okay with them getting laid off, and that has to do with their work ethic. I'm cool with that. Completely cool with that. But there's others that I just don't wanna see, and honestly, it's tough because you don't ever want to see, people lose their livelihood, and, that's a big possibility come Monday and Tuesday. Anyway, the staying late, all of this stuff, my nervous system, just a mess, just a mess. But, you know, I guess I see it this way. If you're tired of pretending you're okay at work, so am I. If you've been swallowing stress to keep your job, I see you. I definitely see you because I'm there right with you. If you've been laid off and still if you still feel like you owe them grace, let that go. Depending on how that happened, in this situation, you don't owe them grace. I'm sorry. I think that the way that they've chosen to lay people off is just, and I'm not going to say unethical because it's not unethical. It's just a very, very poor decision. That's truly how I feel. Like this is a poor decision to let people stress out for like 2 months. Even the people that aren't getting laid off are stressed out. So you're causing unnecessary, undue stress upon people because you didn't do your layoffs right. And if I ever go through a situation like this again, I'm telling you, man, I may just cut out before it's even over. I am sick, definitely sick. And I don't know. I'm sure that the people I work with are feeling way, the same way. You know, in the scheme of things, either I'm rebuilding where I don't feel protected or I'm not. It's one or the other. There's a voice in me that is saying, I don't want to perform wellness, you know, um, for the people who made me sick. Seriously. Like, there's a part of me that's like, man, after this, I don't even want to be there. You know what I mean? Like, whew, I just don't feel safe. I feel safe. I don't feel safe. I feel safe. I'm on the roller coaster. My hands are up. They're down. They're up. They're down. It's unreal. Anyway, I'm not sacrificing my nervous system again for a job that sees me as replaceable again. I will tell you that right now. Because at any given moment, I feel like any of us is replaceable. But I've never felt it with this type of stress in my life. And either I'm going to be stressed out after Tuesday night or I'm not going to be stressed out. And if I'm stressed out, it's going to be stressed out for a different reason other than my job. So, whew, we'll see what happens. Um, it's like at the same time as well, I am in a job that I love. And I'm not sure what my reaction or my state will be if I make the cut, you know? I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about that, especially if peers that I adore are no longer there. But I'm hoping that my section is safe. I don't know. We'll see. Tuesday will tell. Anyway, I'll be back next Sunday with an update and a new show because I can't leave y'all hanging, right? Until then, stay soft, stay brave, and stay grounded. And I think this is why I was pounding the grounding in so hard. And I will always do that anyway, because grounding is important. You got to stay grounded because that's your foundation. That's what's going to hold you steady. Even in the face of adversity, no matter what you face, you need to stay grounded because that's what's going to keep you here. Anyway, till next week, keep talking amongst yourself. I'll see you then.